weird freak friends. I don't care. You want to hang out with guys that look like the Shoe Bomber? It's all on you, man.
6 in the credits? How'd I lose 6 in the credits? They were fucking... Holy shit.
What's up, guys? It's Graybush, and I'm here to talk a little Division beta. So, I'm not here to give like a full gameplay recap and get into all the nitty-gritty details, but I do want to talk about what my experience was with the beta. It was pretty decent, guys. It really was. First thing I want to talk about is, and I really want to stress, this is a beta, guys. You're going to find glitches and hangups and just weird stuff that happens all the time. And that's what a beta is all about. It's really for us to help the developers find things wrong with the game. As far as the gameplay goes, guys, you're going to see and feel like it's something that you've played before, which isn't always wonderful, but in this case, it feels nice. So the gameplay itself is going to harken back to a lot of classic games, things like Gears of War and Splinter Cell, and a little bit of Destiny with the loot drop and the RNG system, that sort of stuff. But as far as how it all feels, so it is a cover-based RPG shooter. So the cover-based system looks, feels, and works a lot like Gears of War. So as you see here, I'm moving between cover to cover, and honestly, it feels super comfortable, albeit the animation is a bit clunky. But ultimately, the mechanics of it are very, very nice. And it should be no surprise that the game developer really focused on a game that is the bar for cover-based shooters in Gears of War. As far as the gunplay goes, it feels to me a lot like Splinter Cell. A lot of people are saying Gears of War with the gunplay too, but with the guns being so much more realistic and they feel a lot different in here than they do Gears, I really feel like this is more of a Splinter Cell type shooter. So, there's a ton of customization here, and this is the stuff that really makes me feel like it's Destiny, with the level of RPG character customization. As you see a guy glitch out into a no zone to hide from us. It happens. But the loot system and everything makes it feel like Destiny, which I've played hundreds of hours of Destiny. And it does feel a lot like that. A very heavy RNG-based loot system, right? But the character customization, first off, the guns, the tier of guns, all of that, again, brings back feelings of Destiny, and even the colors, right? With your white, your green, your blue, your purple, and then finally your yellow, which is your high-end guns. For those of you who have played the beta, there's only 2 yellow guns unlocked in the beta, one of which I'm actually going to buy right now. If you've been in the Dark Zone, either you're using this or you're killed by this all of the time, because this is the gun that everyone's using, right? But ultimately, on top of just your basic gun purchase, you have a ton of gun mods. You know, you have scopes and magazines and underbarrels and muzzles and skins and a whole lot of stuff that you can do to make your gun your own. That being said, I feel like a lot of it's useless. The scopes and that sort of stuff, with the exception of a nice zoom scope for a sniper rifle, the scopes really didn't do much for me. The underbarrels, they helped a little bit with the modification. The muzzles, with the silencers and stuff, they really only changed the audio. And as far as the magazines, outside of the extended mag, I didn't notice any different. Unfortunately for me, I felt like the gun modification was a tad bit underwhelming. In fact, towards the end of the beta, I really focused heavily on mods that increased the damage or experience that I was getting, because I felt like that was the best route to go, because the other modifications didn't give me a whole lot of actual change in what I was using, right? But with the beta, it only gives you a taste of the level of customization that's offered in this game. So you can do the gun mods, sure, but there are also armor mods, which we didn't even get a touch. There are all sorts of different weapons perks and things like that. Very, again, similar to Destiny. So the level of customization here is well beyond anything that we've seen in either the alpha or the beta, right? They only briefly touched on the RPG aspects of it with your character perks, right? So at the moment, they only had really 4 perks unlocked. They had the first perk from each tier. So you had your pulse on your medical tier. You had your remote detonation grenade launcher on your tech tier, and you had your riot shield in your security tier, right? And then with the medical, you could also unlock the team healing perk, right? The only perk that allowed you to expand on anything was the pulse perk, which gave you 3 additional benefits to using your pulse, right? But you could just see the massive amount of additional customization. And then there were even character perks that we didn't even get a touch. I unlocked one early on in the game, but because it was locked down in the beta, I couldn't equip it, I couldn't do anything with it. But I will say, guys, this game is on a massive scale. Even just looking at the map, you can see how big this game is. I mean, it takes the entirety of New York City and puts it at your disposal. You can run wherever you want to go and do whatever you want to do. At any point in time, it is truly a giant sandbox video game. And one of the most impressive things to me is the open world aspect and no loading screens. Unless you're going in or out of a safe room, there's almost nothing. Even going in and out of the dark zone, you have almost no loading. As you see, I pull up the mini-map here, and I'm going to navigate to a spot. The HUD is also super, super clean. You see the very light navigation arrow above my head, kind of showing me the direction I want to go. And then my basic character stats there, switching weapons, that sort of stuff. A very simplistic HUD, which gives you all of the information you need very, very quick. The one thing that I have to say, my one huge disappointment is that all of the stuff that they allow you to do is so locked down. And some of the stuff is very, very clunky still at this point. Now, I don't know how early on this beta split off from the full game development. I also don't know how far along they've pushed some of this stuff and what information they're going to use from the beta to change what's already in the game. But what I do know is that this game is a whole lot of fun, guys. So what we're seeing here is everything that we've come to enjoy in video games all thrown into a huge sandbox environment, right? I do have a couple gripes with the game, I'm not gonna lie. So first thing I want to say, going rogue is a whole lot of fun, guys. But some of the gameplay that you can expect from this, so first off, people extraction zone camping. Now, as you see right here, I am calling in for an extraction. I have a yellow pack full of contaminated gear that I am trying to get out of the dark zone. I want to keep the gear that I have, and I want to go back to my stash and open it up. So I got to call in an extraction. Well, there's a lot of agents who just camp these extraction zones, and right before your helicopter gets there, they kill you. Unfortunately, 1v4, there's almost nothing you can do, especially at this point where the characters are pretty much all the same, right? The level of customization hadn't reached the point to where you could just overpower 4 guys. The other thing I have to say is, the gameplay-wise, there are a lot of people that are baiting other players into going rogue. So, for example, you go up and you shoot a guy a couple times, you tag him, not enough to go rogue yourself, but enough to piss him off. And you do it a few times, he's going to get pissed, he's going to turn around, he's going to start lighting you up, right? Well, he's going to go rogue. That's when your buddies come in and smash him. That's what's going to happen. So be prepared for some of that stuff when the game first launches, especially for players who are in the alpha and in the beta and kind of know what's going on as far as that goes. And then finally, and this is my only true gripe with the game, is that there are rogue agents who will camp the checkpoints in and out of the dark zone. So, like I said earlier, there's almost no loading screen going in and out of the dark zone, but you are in a tad bit of animation lock where you're putting the mask over your face and getting everything ready. Well, by the time you do that, they're already lighting you up, and you're going to be lucky to even get a couple of shots on them, to be completely honest. And it kind of sucks. I would almost feel better if they put in just a kind of a little buffer zone so rogue agents couldn't just roll up and be right next to the door waiting to wreck you as soon as you walk out. But it happens, guys. Ultimately, I'm going to pick the game up. I'm going to have a whole lot of fun with it. I encourage everyone to do the same. At least try it out. And if it's not for you, it's not for you. But I think the game itself really merits a whole lot of good for a whole lot of people. But don't just take my word for it. Watch a bunch of videos, play around, talk to your friends, talk to your family, talk to your mom. I don't know, talk to someone who knows more about it than I do. Get their opinion on it. But I'm getting out of here, guys. Of course, like, subscribe, comment, all of the good stuff. Hit me up on Twitter. Of course, pop by on Twitch, come and say hi. I am Graybush, and I will see you later. Shit, I'm gonna go back and call another extraction. Oh wait, there should be an extraction point right ahead of me.
Yeah, this way, yeah. Need help at all?
No, I'm full.